Hey, it's us once again. I'm JT. Say something, Mike.
What it do?
And that's what it says. And we're here for another Iyanla Fixing My Life episode, part whatever. Let's get to it.
It ain't no part nothing.
Oh, episode whatever.
Yeah.
How about it? Oh, look at you. Oh, autocorrect. You called it out. You can give me 10 seconds, goddammit. You can just let it ride, could you? Let's start off, people. We back in Chicago with her.
You can't start off line.
I mean, but damn.
You gotta work your way into the line.
Give me something.
All right. Go ahead.
You wait. And so,
Nope.
that ain't on that dial, boy.
Oh, autocorrect. Anyway, come
and
on.
we back. Iyanla Fix My Life. We in Chicago at her safe house. We got a young lady named Dominique. They call her Dom for short. And she called Iyanla, I guess, to fix her life. And she comes in. They sit down. They're in the house. They're on, I guess in the what they call it, the meeting room.
Okay.
The healing room.
Yeah, that ain't important to the stuff.
Tell them what room they in. Tell them what room they in, George. This show already you already know how it's gonna start off.
Well, it was already the show. The episode seemed like it went on forever.
It did.
And then here you go, talking about the meeting room. We ain't got time for this. He said, "Come, let's help record. We're gonna need all the time we got." And then he wants to come and talk about the meeting room. I'm over it.
I'm not here for this.
I'm sorry. Let's go.
I'm not here for this.
The meeting room.
And she's telling her why she's there. We learned that she has an 8-year-old son, mm-hmm. And for some reason, she's not taking care of her son. I think since like 2011, when he was like 2. Mm-hmm. The mother, what's her name? Norma was taking care of the son. Excuse me, and so she's talking about that and basically, telling Iyanla about her story about her life. And then she said, she was asking her what's going on, and she said, well, I was abused. Was it at 9? Mm-hmm. Was her
14?
I thought that was the other sister. Was it 14? Was it 14? Okay, you right. At 14, and she got sexually abused, and she's like, when you told your mother what happened, she was like, well, basically nothing. She basically, just sweep it under the rug type deal, and she basically starting to seem like resented her. Mm-hmm.
And this is when she told her to carry around that 409 bottle.
Yeah, that was so rude.
But it seems so old school to me, because like just looking at this whole episode and how the mother reacted to her 2 daughters, it reminded me of like the older generation and how they used to
like
handle
some mother that grew up in the 40s or something.
Yeah, and then you find out, because to me it's the mentality that we were seeing was that the mother, she may have been through this sexual abuse before. Because why would you want your daughter to just pretend it never happened? Let's move on.
It seems like I've been through this before. This is what I know to do.
Yes, this is how I know how to deal with it. But then her giving her the 409 bottle and telling her to spray everywhere she touched just in case she got some disease. Like that sounded so country to me.
How you feel like growing up in that house? Oh, when somebody, that's just. That makes you feel some type of way when your parent don't think you're clean. They actually make you.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It ain't that they just don't think you clean. They think you filthy to where you gotta carry diseased.
Yeah, you
gotta carry around antibacterial. What do they call it? Disinfectants.
Yeah,
ain't nobody got time for that. That's ridiculous.
That is, and she told her that, and then she told her all of that, what was going on with her, and like her mama was, go ahead.
did you notice it was weird to me when, because Iyanla was asking her, okay, when did this all start regarding the demise of your relationship with your mom? She said, at first she said it started when I started having sex.
Yeah.
But then she tells us about, I guess the first time she had sex was this sexual assault. And I'm like, I don't know, describing it as when I started having sex.
That's how she
and
viewed
then, you know, that was kind of weird to me. That made me kind of look at her different, like there's something else going on mentally.
Yeah. And then, okay, 9. That's what it was. And then she asked, you know, like, you know, there's something else. What else happened? And she said, well, my mom got married when I was 9 years old. And she sent me away. And then when she came back, okay, I'm married.
Right.
And she said, so did they even have a wedding? She's like, yeah. So you wasn't invited? You know, this your own daughter?
Yeah.
You know, you wasn't invited? She's like, no. And so, you know, she made it feel like, you know, she's not wanted, or, you know, she's some, you know, I guess some outcast, or, you know, like she's not supposed to be cared for or, you know, loved enough to be at her mother's wedding.
Now, do you think that had something to do with the mom's military background? You know, why she was so hard on her? Well, we found out later on in the episode that the mother is, you know, retired. She wasn't with, you know, she wasn't getting love and affection from her mother. Yeah. So she didn't know how to, you know, do it with her kids. But also having that military background of being so strict. Do you think that had something to do with the, you know, the way she treated her daughter?
Well, you know, the military is so strict, you know, and it's like, you know, take the hurt and keep it moving. We you know, we still got work to do. Ain't no time for grieving or feeling sorry for yourself. When, you know, you do that on your own time, but when you with me, you know, you better suck it up. Like she said, you gonna have to suck it up and do what needs to be done. And that brings us to the mother, because that's pretty much it. What happened with Dominique, and so Iyanla sits down with the mother, and she was asking her, you know, so, you know, what's your thoughts about your daughter? I mean, she just started revving off. I mean, everything negative. She can't be trusted.
She's so dramatic.
She's so dramatic. She don't take care of her kids. She called her daughter a deadbeat mom. And Iyanla started laughing when she was talking to Dom. She was like, I've heard of deadbeat dads.
Yeah, but
I've never heard of a deadbeat mom. And she was called her uneducated. I mean, the mama was just putting her down. I mean, and we saw that when Iyanla started talking to her. Everything she had to say about her was pretty much negative.
Right. Now, watching this, I know you don't watch Love and Hip Hop. Nah. But when I'm watching this, I was reminded of the Love and Hip Hop Hollywood with Lil Fizz, what he's dealing with his baby mom and her mother. I felt like this was an exact replica of their situation.
Her mother's like Dom's mother.
Yes, exactly. But we don't really know that much of the daughter's story to understand why the mother is behaving this way and trying to convince, you know, Little Fizz to take full custody. Her daughter ain't shit. You know, just treating just like what we saw and how she only really.
I ain't shit, and so you ain't gonna be shit. But
the mother on Love and Hip Hop don't feel that she's not. You know, she feels like she's cool. You know, she feels like she's cool. My daughter's the one with the problem.
But they don't realize that she the one that raised her daughter.
And Iyanla had to remind Norman.
I'm like,
you raised a daughter.
She's under your house. Yeah, her child.
Yeah.
And she kept on saying, well, she did this, but she was under your roof. You know, she's doing all this under your guidance.
And looking at all the negative things that she had to say about her, Iyanla had to let her know, like, remember the example that she did with the T-shirt, where she had, you know, the daughter's name on the front of the T-shirt. And she said, you know, every negative thing you say about your a parent says about their child, it kind of cuts their soul.
Yeah.
And so she said, but what you don't realize is what you say about your daughter is also, you know, what you're saying about your grandson. She flipped the shirt inside out, and it revealed those same cuts on him. And I'm like, you know, that was kind of deep. It seems simple. But I got the point.
Yeah, and it seemed like, and she seemed like that type of mother that would like downgrade her daughter in front of him, or feel some type of way and don't have no qualms about it, sharing it with her grandson.
I definitely got the vibe that Norma was the type to talk bad about her daughter, you know, in front of, you know, the grandson. Especially based on what we saw transpire on the show, where
we heard, because it was like they said the producers kind of stopped the taping real quick again with the Iyanla and the mother, and she went upstairs, and it was because she sent the mother upstairs with the son while Norma and Iyanla was talking, so she sent Dom upstairs to talk with her son, have a good bonding moment. And we ended up.
It seemed like everything was cool. He was excited to see her. Yeah.
And, I think that's his first impression. Then the real comes in. I see her. I haven't seen her. This is my mom. He gets that real love going. But then, she opens her mouth. That type of deal. Right. And then it's real coming in. And so they go, she's upstairs with her son. Dom is. And so Iyanla goes upstairs because the producer stopped her and Norma talking. And she said, what's going on? They saying the son, which name is Bilal, like he's upset. And she goes in, he got tears in his eyes and stuff, and the mama's nowhere. I guess they sent her to another room, and she said, why you crying? And he was like, why you upset? And he's like, I don't really, he basically saying he don't really care for his mama. He's like, she makes threats and things like that, and
he mentioned he felt like he was caught in between the middle of them. He kept mentioning, like, I wanted them to expound on the threats that
that's what I wanted. What threats are she wanted her to follow through with threats, and I'm like, what type of? And he an 8-year-old child knowing threats, like something's going to happen type.
Yeah, he said one day she might actually go through with
her threats. I'm like, what are you telling me?
He talked about her pushing him down, and Iyanla was, she got to the point where she was asking, okay, if we just forget about the threats, her making whatever threats they are, would you, want to
live with your mother?
He's like, no, he want to stay with his grandma. And so that, reiterated to me that the grandma is really feeding this negativity about her daughter to the grandson. So he even said he felt like he don't need his mom. He don't need her in his life.
I think that's half of it, and of course the mama doesn't know how to deal. She's not raising her son anyway.
Yes, and I felt like we didn't really get to that.
Yeah,
like during the episode, we there was a lot going on with the mother, the sister, but we didn't really get to like where, because we found out that Dominique was homeless. But why aren't you in your child's life right now? Like, is it because you don't have your shit together? And what steps are you taking to try and get there?
She's not like responsible enough. We found out like she likes to party. She's a party girl.
Yeah, she used to. Yeah,
she has that like I don't care attitude. I'm gonna get life as it comes. And what they call it, you only live once.
YOLO.
Mentality. And so it seemed like she's, since growing up how she was with not an affectionate mother, if they don't care for me, it seems like she don't care about herself, and she just, eventually she's, right now she's not caring for her son. And so, we with the son, and then Iyanla asked the son, she was like, are you scared of your mother? And he was like, yes. And she's like, hold up. Let's bring the mama back in.
Nip this in the bud.
Yeah, you shouldn't be afraid of your mother. This is your mother.
Well, I feel like, maybe I'm just got an old school mentality too, because I feel like when your parents are raising you, there should be like a respect and a fear there. I don't feel like
I think it's a different fear.
Yeah. I don't feel
there's a fear of discipline, and then there's just a fear I don't want to be around this person.
But why? I don't know.
And I think that's how I think he's fearing like his well-being. I don't think he's going to. He knows he's not going to be taken care of.
His well-being, that I feel like that's also he's being fed this information from this.
I think that's half of it, and what the mama's doing. I don't think that's the full thing about what his grandmother is feeding. I think that's half of it. I think that's an influence. But you still got the mother also that's doing what she's doing.
Yeah.
And we find out why he was crying. Like she said, well. The Bilal was high strong, and I'm thinking
He's what?
High strong. You never heard of high strong?
Like you say, like high strong, like
high strong. You never heard of that? You supposed to be old school.
You made that up?
No,
you just made that up, brother.
But anyway, he doesn't want to listen to anybody and stuff.
Kind of like bullheaded.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she was like, and I kind of told him, hey, chill. You need to sit down
and relax.
And he didn't want to do that, and so Iyanla said, hey, him not listening is just like you not listening to your mother when you were younger.
Right.
You had to have some relevance.
Probably even now, she still probably ain't listening.
Nah, she ain't got nothing to listen to about her mother. Whenever her mother talks to her, well, I can see why. But she and Iyanla said, well, this is basically a reflection of you. When you acted out like this is the same thing that
your son is doing to you. Yeah.
Yeah. And then was that the last thing they said with her? We'll go back to the mother. And is this the dining room? I mean, the little kitchen scene when she was just talking to him. And we found out about really what's going on with the mother, or did she sit down? Was this episode? I mean, the scene when she sits down with the sister.
No, she still sits down with the mom, and this is when she asked the mom about her being getting married while she was gone.
Yeah, tell him, Mike. Tell him.
She was asking like, okay, what happened when your daughter was 9? Like, why wasn't she invited to your wedding? And Norma's attitude was like, okay, that happened back then. Ain't nothing we can change about that. Like, why is she holding on to the past? She's still holding on to age 9. She's still holding on to age 10. Eventually she's gonna have to move on and take responsibility for herself.
She was like, I did it. I grew up in a house of 15. I don't blame my mama for the things that happened in my life.
She said, my life is my life. Her life is her life. And she gonna have to learn to deal.
And suck it up.
Suck it up.
And Iyanla was like, I don't like you.
Because she was just so aggressive and just so harsh.
Yeah.
Like she just had no
compassion
for her daughter.
Heart for her daughter. And
this seems like this is a person off the street that she's talking about, not some person that she actually birthed into this world and cared about. That it actually reared. No, I didn't get none of that from Norma.
Yeah, Norma, and she was like, I don't like you. She was like, well, I don't care.
The good thing about it, Miss Iyanla, I don't care.
I don't give not one damn. Not one.
Let's switch to her talking to the sister.
The sister. Yeah, she brings the sister in and talks to the sister, and she was like, so what's your take on everything? And she starts spewing this stuff about her sister, almost like the same thing what her mother was doing. Right,
and you hear the influence from the grandson and the other daughter, from the mom, Norma.
And she and Iyanla basically kind of shut her down. She was like, are you upset with her for doing something that she didn't ask you to do, as far as like taking care of her nephew? And she didn't ask you to do nothing.
Yeah, you can't blame. You can't hold
that against him, and just blame her. You the big sister, but hold up, what's going on with you? What's your hurt? What happened to you? And we found out that she was sexually abused when she was younger.
Which I had to pause on that because I'm like, okay, you had one daughter that was sexually abused, and you wanted to sweep it under the rug. We found out that another daughter was sexually abused, wanted to come to you, and you said, forget about it.
Don't tell nobody. We ain't gonna say nothing.
And we're gonna act like it never happened.
What type of shit is that?
Like, where is at least your motherly compassion for your daughters having to go through some trauma like this? I mean, we don't know the details of what happened, but they're saying they were sexually assaulted, abused.
It seemed like you just like tapped her on the shoulder and will don't say nothing and left.
It was almost like she was saying, it happens to us all. Suck it up. And to your daughters though. And so, Iyanla had to, kind of check the sister. I think her name was Nakisha.
Nakisha.
She's like, okay, now you sit up here, you're talking all this noise about your sister and blaming your sister. Are you sure that you should be putting that blame on your mom? And she had to think about it. She didn't want to.
Yeah.
But then she realized that she can't really talk to her mom like that. There's been many times she wanted to go and say stuff to her, but she realized her mom didn't want to hear. Her mom didn't care.
And that's what she told her mom.
Again, that's that old school type of mentality. Like when I was looking at some of the stuff that Norma was doing, I was like seeing my grandma.
Oh yeah.
And like my older.
But yeah, that's what they did back in the day. Yes. They either sent you away, old secret. Yeah. If something happened, or we just it's old family secret, whatever between whoever, and we just gonna deal with it and keep it on the rug. That's how we deal, And that's how they did it back in the day.
So many people are kind of whacked out in the head,
or just heartbroken. Period. They haven't healed. But and she brought the mother in for the sister to tell the mother how she felt, you know, what she told Iyanla, and you know, she basically told her, you know, hey, you know, you hurt me, you know, I wanted to come to you for compassion or motherly love,
emotional support.
And you like you said, you basically sound like she didn't say nothing because it sounded like you didn't want to hear it. Mm-hmm. That was your feelings about the situation, how she felt, how the mother would feel. Mm-hmm.
But we at this point we are seeing a softer Norma.
She's a little crack. It was just a little crack.
This is after Iyanla had a conversation with her, and we found out why Norma's the way she is, and why she's kind of cold-hearted, because her mama didn't teach her how to love and kiss and show affection. She didn't get that from her mom, so she said, I turned cold-hearted, and I just basically wiped that emotion out. I didn't know how to do it. So when we're talking to Nikisha, and her mom is listening, you can see she's a little bit softer, and she's at least listening to her.
You know, I think once she somewhat told her own story, she felt, you know, I felt a little what's the word I'm looking? Not compassion.
Empathy.
That's not the word. And it's a simple word.
You got to give me more clues.
You know, when you see inspired.
Okay.
That's the word. To okay, now I can do something a little bit. You know, now I've gotten that release. You know, I've told that, because I don't think nobody probably even asked her about her life. You know, and gave her
to a session like this where somebody actually asked and cared.
Yeah. You know, and I think that kind of broke it, you know, for her, and then she had enough compassion. You know, her heart opened up enough, you know, to have compassion with her daughter. She's like, you know, forgive me. They hugging and forgive me and whatnot. And I think it was, and Iyanla said, now that compassion's in the air, let's hurry up and talk to Dom while the mom is feeling a little bit.
Yeah, let's get her.
She on that love juice. Yeah. You know, and so they sit her down. She has like a screen, like a black screen between the mother and sister and
Dominique.
Dominique is the mother and sister sitting together, and just Dominique. And I think who talked first?
Dominique.
Was it Dominique? And she told, you know, her mother she's sorry that, you know, I guess she wasn't.
She didn't listen to her.
Yeah.
She, you know, basically harassed her.
She wasn't the daughter that. She wanted her to be, or, you know.
She was, you know, didn't live up to her expectations. She didn't do anything.
Somewhat of a disappointment. Yeah.
And, you know, she was apologizing. She also switched to the sister and apologized for saying mean things and hurtful things to her and not really understanding her. And we saw this moment where the sister apologized to Dominique, and we saw the beginning of like a rebuilding of a relationship.
And then Iyanla switched the mother. She said, well, the mother has to say something to the two sisters now, and so they have Don sitting with the sister and the mother on the other side, and the mother basically saying, you know, I'm sorry to Don for not understanding and not having a motherly compassion or a motherly understanding of what you're going
through. Just being a mother.
Yeah, and having that love.
Yeah. You
know, just something happens to you, you console them.
Yeah.
You know, that would be the first thought. You know, okay, you going through this hurt. Let
she
me
turned into the daddy.
Oh,
wipe that blood off and get your ass back out there and play.
I don't even think. Okay, I can see a daddy doing that with his son, but
that's what I'm saying. That's what
okay. How
she was acting that way, like she was, you know.
Yeah, like, you know, go and do some push-ups or something. Go kick rocks. You know, and she apologized. You know, and she finally broke down, and they took away the screen, and she was like, I don't even want to look at them. You know, I feel so ashamed. You know, it finally, God damn it, after 55 minutes, it hit her that she was sorrowful, and it finally clicked, because the whole episode, it seemed like Iyanla just kept telling her, you know, you don't have no compassion. You know,
you don't even like.
I'm giving you examples of what. What's going on?
What about when Iyanla had the daughter reading that letter? She's like, ask her when she wrote that letter.
Yeah, where was she when she wrote it?
Yeah, and she said, ask her what she did with my check.
What she do with my jewelry? I'm like, damn, Mom. And then
she's just holding on to all these things.
Everything.
And that's just like an old person.
And the daughter basically, I'm committing suicide in 2 minutes. You know, and she
asked her where she was.
Yeah. She didn't say that, fool. I mean, I'm just giving you an illustration of what was how
it was so good to see her actually break down.
Yes.
And appear to like her, you know, her daughters.
And they gave her love, you know, and it seemed like everybody was, you know, on that love juice.
And Iyanla, you know, she went back and said, you know, I like you.
Yeah.
I like you.
Because yesterday she didn't get 2 shits.
I like you.
Not 2. And so they brought the son in, you know, and he was like, anything you want to, anything extra you need from us, and he was like, nah, I got everything here, my family. He was a very intelligent young man. He knew what he wanted to say, and he said it. You know, it wasn't no goo goo gaga or
especially when he said, you know, she wanted to go out, left me in the hotel, wanted to go out, and then she choosing cigarettes over me.
Yeah,
I'm like, what is like?
He had very good insight on what's going on, but then again, he doesn't know what's going on because he's still a child.
Yeah,
he doesn't know the reason. I'll say that. It was a pretty good episode. I think the thing was Mama needed to crack, and I think she was the head. She was the one. That was, you know, gonna have to spearhead this healing that's gonna have, because if she's cold, none of this is gonna work. You know, because she's raising the son.
The other daughter, you know, just what do you call it? Bottling her emotions back up. The son just feeding off of whatever the grandma's giving.
I think she was just ready to love the sister. You know, I think she just needed to get her out, and she still probably sliding somewhat. You know,
because she was so pissed off at the other sister.
Yeah, she thought her sister was just
have a really
irresponsible. Yeah. You know, but I'm taking care of your son. You doing all this. You know, you going drunk and partying and everything. So she felt some type of way.
Did she ask you to do any of that?
No.
All right then. Can we move on now? Everybody hold on to the damn facts.
Before we leave, I had one question. Where was the daddy? The son's dad.
I don't even think
they did not mention not one word about the young man's father. Where he at? Why put him off the hook?
Good question.
That's really what I want to know. Where the father, where the men, where they daddy? Where they stepdaddy? Or the one that just appeared up?
Yeah.
After they married. I mean, where the men? Where the men in these relationships?
Good question.
Because that can solve a lot of questions also. That's it. People, they gave us a little update. They saying she's having a better relationship with her mother and her sister, and she sees her son regularly on weekends now, and it seems like everything is somewhat gelling together. You know, they're healing their relationships.
Making progress.
Yes, like. And so that's very good. Anything else you got to say, Mike B?
Or you nothing?
If you have any comments, leave them. Yes, my Royals are doing what they do. It's the World Series. So, yeah, be royal. Till next time, folks.